Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirits, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys. Most amazing, beautiful viewers. This is a requested reading here, and we're looking at the month ahead between you and the person on your mind. Now, it could be possible that someone else comes through with this energy, but it is a relationship reading between you and another person. Does not have to be intimate, could be platonic, could be anyone in your life at all that comes through here. Although, because a lot of you guys come here for your love readings, it could certainly be pulled through as a love intimate reading. And if that's the case, you can leave those specific messages for those of you guys who are interested in the love aspect, okay? But this is a relationship reading between you and the person on your mind, person who pulls through this energy. And we have 3 options to choose from. The jewelry you see here is available at prairievintagejewelry.com. Beautiful brooches for sale. I'll put the links to all 3 of these brooches so you guys know where to purchase them if you are interested. Option number 1 is this beautiful brooch and this Zillich Tarot pack. Option number 2 is this beautiful brooch and the Aquarian Tarot. And for option number 3, we have this beautiful brooch and the purple pack of tarot cards. So I'll leave the video running for a little bit. Sit with this energy, and then the timestamp will be in the description box and in the pinned comment below. We'll take a quick look at you and your person to identify whether you've picked the right pile, and then we'll get into the month ahead and what is going to happen between you and this person. All right, so I will see you guys at your pick. Hello, hello, my beautiful pile number 1. You guys picked this beautiful Sarah Coventry Tahitian yellow flower brooch and the Zillich Tarot. So let's get into your reading. We'll be taking a quick look at person A, person B. I'll be using that format, so you could be either A or B. You can switch. If you find yourself in both A and B, it could be that both you and this person are mirroring each other, which is quite common. So it might be a little difficult to tell which side is yours, but one side should predominantly have your energy. All right, and we're looking at the month ahead, the energy between you and this person. Now I say this person, this could be the person on your mind. Generally, that's how it comes up. Although it could be someone else coming through here that you are involved with, and Spirit's wanting you to understand something in regards to that relationship. Now, we are in relationship with everything and everyone in this world. So when I say relationship, this doesn't have to be an intimate love person. This could certainly be a business partner, a sibling, anyone in your life, really, that's going to come through here. All right, although I know a lot of you guys do come here for your love readings, and it may come through that way. So if you're not here for a love reading and that pulls through, you can leave those messages for someone else, although the general gist of the energy should be what you're looking at. So just take the essence. All right, so let's take a look at person A. Person A, we have the tier 52. And we have the hippo, getting strong Jupiter energy here, which is Sagittarius and Pisces. We have the snake, earth energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And we have I run away to avoid facing my problems, and I can't do this right now. And we got I hope our paths will cross again in the future. And for person B, we have 27 with the unseen. And we have the mallard. And we have the fish. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. Strong Pisces. Yeah, strong Pisces, even from the mallard I'm getting here. Strong water energy. I'm sending you loving energy. Can you feel it? I wish to be like you. And I love you so much, but I keep running from you. I don't understand why I do this, and I feel empty without you. So I do not look at these cards. These were just pre-shuffled oracle cards. So I will need to sit with this energy for a little bit so we can tap into person A and B. And then we have the shared energy here, and we'll look at the month ahead. So let's start with person A. I feel person A is healing from something right now, and I don't necessarily feel it is healing from this connection so much. I feel like this person is trying to get their life in order, is what I feel. And I feel like this person in the past could have been somebody who wasn't dealing with certain things. It wouldn't face them head on, would potentially just bury things. And so I think this person's come to an understanding that they have to resolve things as they come up rather than dismiss them or run from them. And I think this person is serious about dealing with things in their life at this point, which I feel has made them unavailable to the, well, let's call this the snake person. Let's call this the fish person, because it makes more sense this way. So the snake person is healing. And like I said, I don't feel they're healing from this connection per se, but they're learning to deal with their problems rather than avoid. And I feel like this person is feeling like the timing just isn't right now between the snake and the fish person. Okay, this is the overall general energy. We'll see what happens in the month ahead, but so that you know whether this is your pile or not. Like, this person's been focused on dealing with their own sort of issues and has not made themselves available to the fish person here. Although I do feel like the snake person feels fairly blessed and lucky. I just feel the timing has been off. I feel like this snake person's been sad about the fact that they can't make themselves available. So there's logistical reasons or just reasons outside of their control as to why they can't make themselves available. So I do feel as though they've pulled away, they've moved away, or they've been focused elsewhere and not making themselves available to the fish. So the fish person, it feels to me like this fish person is a little bit of a coming and going energy. And I feel like this person doesn't realize that they're coming and going, energetically speaking, because I feel like this fish person has been hurt by the fact that the snake person hasn't made themselves available. So I think this fish person is like trying to stay strong, and one moment is on the path of this connection and seeing what the value is here, and then in the next breath I feel that this fish person is saying, is it even worth my energy or efforts to wait around for the snake person to get their life together? The fish person feels like they haven't been appreciated or seen by the snake person, and so they reach points of sadness and abandonment, and then I feel like they convince themselves that they're better off without the snake person, and so they're off and on with their energy. And I feel like the fish person sees that the snake person is focused on self and trying to do what's best for them, and I feel like the fish person also wants to be able to focus on themselves and move towards what's best for them. But I feel like this fish person feels very pulled to the snake person and is kind of a little bit upset at the fact that they can't attain the snake person. They can't control the outcome of what's happening here with the snake person. So I feel like the fish person will maybe one day feel like, okay, I'll be patient and send love and wait for the snake person to get their crap together. And then maybe a week later, they feel like they need to move on from the snake person because they feel like they're dedicating themselves to maybe a dead end situation that doesn't seem to be getting anywhere. Or at least it seems to, yeah, not be getting them what they want. So they're not quite sure. They're like, do I wait around here for the snake person to figure it out, or do I just move on? And so there is an energy like this, because sometimes it's with conviction to stay and sometimes it's with conviction to go. But at the end of the day, it's a back and forth type energy that I'm feeling from this fish person. I feel the fish person really wants to make things happen with the snake person, and I feel the fish person would make themselves available to this snake person if the snake person would say they're readily available. So I think the fish person's struggling being supportive of what the snake person is going through because it puts them at an out. And so they feel like there's nothing they can do in the situation other than just observe the snake person deal with whatever they have to deal with. So they do see that the snake person is not really able to focus on the fish person like the fish person wants, not able to communicate on a deep level of what the plan of action is here other than just what it is that they're dealing with. So I think the fish person is like waiting to see, like, will this snake person eventually, once they're done resolving what they need to, make themselves available here. I feel there is a deep connection here spiritually. At least the fish person feels it, because the fish person has been dreaming and is spiritually tapped into this snake person energetically. I think the fish person could be somebody here who is very intuitive, possibly even psychic, could definitely feel the energetic pull between the snake and the fish, and is trying to figure out how to move forward either alone or be strong enough to wait around and see what happens. But I don't think they're sure what the right thing is to do here, and they're waiting for signs. They're waiting for information so that they know they're on the right path, what they're supposed to be doing in this connection. Do they sacrifice themselves and wait, or do they move on just like the snake person is doing and heal whatever they need to heal as the snake person heals certain parts of their life? So I'm not quite sure what the snake person is healing so much, but I feel like the snake person has allowed certain things in their life to take control of them, is kind of what I feel. But because they've been avoiding dealing with things, and I think it's catching up to them. And so I really feel as though the snake person, even if they wanted to be with this fish person, they can't make themselves available. They're having to process a lot of grief, and they're having to deal with everything that's caught up to them. Although when it comes to the fish person, the snake person does see the blessing and the beauty in this fish person and doesn't see anything really wrong with this connection per se, other than the fact that the snake has other priorities. But I don't think that the snake might have communicated this, and possibly because the fish person is kind of left in the balance, maybe up in the air, and not quite sure what they're supposed to be doing, and feeling a little bit aimless in this connection. And I think even in their life, it's like they're not quite sure. So if this sounds like your connection with someone that's ringing true, we're going to take a look at the energy in the next month between you and this person. We'll pull some tarot as well, and we have pre-shuffled oracle cards. So let's take a look at the energy between you and this person, whichever side you fall on. Coagulation, number 66. 66 is a master number. It's about the service as a source of joy. And yeah, it's like making ourselves available without sacrificing anything, like martyrdom. Okay, coagulation. Thank you, spirits. We have sublimation. And this is 67 in succession here. 66 and 67. So card or number 13. 13 is the Death card in the tarot, which is all about transformation and shedding the old. Scorpio energy coming through with the sublimation. We have the Tent. We have the Open Book, 37 and 5. Number 10, number 5. We have spiritual growth, and we have true love. Okay. So what's happening this month? I think this month is a lesson on both sides. Specifically, I feel I'm reading for this fish person, but you could fall on either side. But what I'm getting here is a message from spirits about how things naturally flow in a connection in order for us to learn lessons. And I feel like there's certain things that need to organically fall away. And the only way that it can happen is through experience. And I feel like there's certain parts of this fish person that is blocked in regards to how they might be seeing or expecting or looking at this connection through eyes of maybe what they're used to or through past experience eyes. And so they're being asked to be very neutral because this connection is stuck. Okay, but I do feel like this month that I'm seeing here is whatever is stuck is being worked out. Like I see knots being worked out, and these knots are like blocks of energy of where they're stuck. And mostly I see fish person stuck because I feel the snake person is pretty certain on the fish person here. Whether they've admitted it or not or have said anything or not is another story. But I feel like the snake person is more focused on what they have to get done at this point in time, because I do feel it is something that maybe they've committed to or have to see through before making themselves available fully. And so as this happens, this fish is learning about what does unconditional love mean? What does it mean to not have any sort of expectations, but to also allow themselves to release any sort of stagnancy and beliefs that they might have about themselves and how they should receive love and how they should give love and when to give it and boundaries and all that sorts of stuff I feel is pretty confusing right now for this person. And I feel there's certain pockets of stuckness. And so I do feel there's a lot of spiritual growth happening between this connection. I do feel, I was feeling it with the mallard. I do feel like the fish knows about a very deep spiritual energetic connection to this snake. And I do feel like both parties are learning to grow independently of each other. So a lot of spiritual growth. I do feel this is about learning unconditional love. How do we support another through an honest connection with pure love, unconditional love, and make ourselves available and give also to ourselves without sacrificing and sabotaging ourselves. So I feel like this is temporary with this tent. Okay, this is a temporary sort of time in space. And again, time doesn't really exist when we deal with energy because it is formless. It knows of no time or space. But I feel like what you are experiencing here in the 3D, again, I feel as though I'm reading for this fish person, at least this is what's coming through, is that this experience is temporary because I feel like the snake person has to deal with what they're dealing with here. And it could be anything from another relationship, an addiction, finishing exams, a job contract, whatever it is here that they have another sort of need to accomplish, need to get through it. So more will be revealed here. And I do feel like you'll get more information in this upcoming month so that you can make further decisions. Because I feel that right now there's information missing because we might not be fully in the know. And I feel like the snake person is potentially doing a poor job at communicating to this fish person what exactly their intentions are, what they're focused on, what it is that they're doing. And this is part of their running away from problems. So if this person, let's just say, was not really focused on being successful and making something of themselves and kind of give up on themselves, now they're focused on, you know, graduating or getting the contract and making themselves achieve something here because they would avoid like leaning into something that would give them self-worth. If this person was, really wrapped up in, let's say, addictive behaviors or just self-defeating things here, it's like they would use that to cope. So I feel like this person has a difficult time in being really upfront and communicating because their past sort of habits here is running away and avoidance. So this could be reflective in how they're showing up between the fish, and it's causing the fish all sorts of sort of not quite sure. Like, if the snake person needs me to support them, I'm not quite sure what that looks like in the future for me. So it's causing some uncertainty here. But this is how we learn to have faith and unconditional love despite how someone else might be showing up. If, of course, we want to grow spiritually. If this is a spiritual connection, then this is the lessons that are learned. Otherwise, we can move on and not wait and just go be with any 3D relationship that makes themselves available. So this is all about growth. This is all about learning self. This is all about things that are stuck inside of us energetically. Once we understand and work with that energy in order to dissolve what we need, then energy starts to flow a little bit better between both people. So I do feel like there is sort of in the weeds type energy going on here. So we're not seeing the bigger picture with the sublimation. And I feel like there will be information that allows both people to get a higher perspective of what they can expect in this connection. But I do feel as though this is more important for the fish person at this time, because the snake person seems to be very focused on what they're dealing with right now, which has caused things to be stuck. So I do feel there is open communication coming through. If there hasn't been communication, the snake person will be making themselves more available with information to the fish person so that they have an idea of what's going on. So I do feel this is very temporary. And it's something that isn't going to last longer than a month. And now when I say a month, again, energy is not really pinpointed to exactly 31 days here. So give or take. Okay, for some of you guys, you're kind of early on the timeline. Some of you guys are a little later on the timeline. I'm not the Time Lord Master, nor can I pinpoint exact timing with cards. So just take that kind of as it resonates for you, but it should be energetically around a month. Let's pull some tarot and see if we can confirm some of what I'm picking up here. Spirits, clear and concise message for beautiful pile 1 in regards to the month ahead between them and this person. The snake and the fish. What's going on in the month ahead? What does pile 1 need to know about this connection specifically? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. Please protect me and the viewer kindly as I channel this message. We are so blessed and thankful. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys are here today. All right, we have the 6 of Pentacles. And we have the 4 of Wands in reverse. And we have the Sun. And we have the Universe, which is the World card in reverse. And we have the Page of Wands, clarified by the 9 of Wands. One more. We have the 10 of Pentacles. All right, so Leo energy. Yeah, Leo energy coming through here. What do we see? Okay, well, I do feel as though there's a lesson here, a spiritual lesson, okay? And it's about how can we give without expecting anything in return, okay? I know this is difficult and we can just see this from so many different angles, okay? So I'm just going to read this spiritually for you. If you do not want to wait around because you're not happy, then you have all the freedom to move on to another connection, okay? But what I feel sometimes these lessons and spiritual connections teach us is about how to make ourselves available and give of self, selflessly. Okay, heart consciousness, open love, the way Jesus would. Okay, like this is heart consciousness. This is about unconditional love. This is not expecting anything in return. How do I give? So I feel like this is big lessons for a lot of people to learn. And I feel as though both people are learning about how to give of themselves and also how to learn about boundaries. And there is a very sort of difficult way when we start to sell ourselves short and we don't allow ourselves to support ourselves in a way that allows us to make ourselves available to another. And so sometimes we can martyr ourselves, okay, but then the energy inside is not a healthy energy. And sometimes we can make ourselves available and give from a heart place and shift the energy dramatically. And I feel like this is what's happening. It's learning a balance about how do I give without any expectation here, and the universe will in turn feed you back whatever energy you're kind of putting out. Okay, so I do feel as though whatever was supposed to kind of come together here with the Four of Wands hasn't come together, and there's going to be clarity around why this hasn't happened and what you guys can do in order to get on the right track here. Because I do feel with the open book here and the Sun, this is about gaining new information, okay, and getting new information. So now we can see more. We're enlightened about new information in regards to why things couldn't come together, why there was a falling apart, why whatever, they couldn't come together, there couldn't be union. Okay, my Four of Wands is the 1111 card for me. It's all about twin flame. This could certainly be a twin flame connection if you resonate with that. 11 is a master number. It's about divine inspiration, synchronicity, and the encouragement to keep going. Okay, so the mallard here is all about dreams and synchronicities as well. So I do feel like there's a lot of having to navigate in the blind, trusting spirit, trusting this connection, because this is a spiritual connection, okay? Trusting, when do we give? When is it okay to just let things be in a way without expecting an outcome of sorts here, okay? So we're learning about balance. Now, I do feel like for a lot of you guys, this energy, I do feel there is possibly a separation, or at least the snake person has made themselves kind of feel removed. Okay, so maybe they stopped communicating, maybe they're just not around as often. And I feel like this is temporary. And I feel like this isn't over. And I do feel like the snake person is closing out a big chapter in their life here with the world in reverse. But they need to close this out in order for them to balance out this connection and make themselves available to give. But I don't feel like this snake person is in a giving sort of energy, or could be, even if they wanted to, which I feel they do. I feel they feel very blessed. I keep getting that. It's like very, very blessed by this fish person. There is no doubt. Okay, but I feel like this person cannot make themselves available right now. So this fish person can be upset, or can just say, well, then never mind, and move on. And then this snake person, you know, will see this fish person as somebody who was only giving to them expecting some sort of return here, okay, which is the opposite of unconditional love. So I'm not saying that we have to pour ourselves completely over someone while they take advantage, or, you know, do whatever they do and maintain in that position. But in these spiritual connections, it is learning how to give from that place and still maintain a love of self and a healthy boundary of self. And I feel this is what this fish person is learning very strongly. So communication, Page of Wands, Nine of Wands. So I feel like the snake person is going to communicate some information that hasn't been available, that's going to provide some insight to this fish person. And I feel like the fish person might be a little bit defensive, okay, but I feel like neither parties are giving up here. I do feel like it's not over, and I feel like there is an ability to build something solid here for the long term, that there is going to be some information around long-term happiness. There's going to be some more insight around how to make things stable for the long run, how to build what you guys need to for the long run. But I feel like right now you guys might be apart or things haven't come together. So it's like what will happen in the next month is more information regarding what does the future look like and the stability of this connection and how can we get there. And so I feel like it's more of a solid understanding that comes through that allows this fish person some ease so that they're able to maintain whether they want to give, make themselves available, or, be supportive of the snake person, or just move on and find another connection here that's in the 3D that doesn't require them to learn this spiritual growth about unconditional love. Okay? So that was deep, and that's all I have here for you guys, beautiful pile one. Let me know if you like this style reading, because maybe I could do one a month here if you guys like this, to see what's going on in the month ahead. And let me know who this resonated for. All right, if this did not resonate, I don't know why you're still here, but you might want to go check out another pile. There could be the same connection coming through another aspect in another pile. You never know. I'll see you soon. Bye. Oh, yes, and I did want to mention, if you are interested in any jewelry, you can select my website from the description box and the pinned comment, prairievintagejewelry.com. I'll put the links to all 3 of the brooches that I showed here today, and I'd love to see you guys there. I'll see you soon. Hello, hello, beautiful. Pick number 2. You guys picked this beautiful Victorian Gothic hematite rhinestone brooch. Absolutely beautiful. I'll put the links to all 3 brooches in the timestamp, and it'll take you to prairievintagejewelry.com. If you're interested in any of the jewelry, then I'd love to see you guys there. Now, I will pull out these tarot cards because we will be using these kind of at the end as some clarifier. But what we're looking at is the person on your mind and what's going to happen in the month ahead. Now, a couple of things to note. Person on your mind could certainly come through, but it could be somebody else who is more energetically involved in your energy, and they could pull through. So I'm going to do a person A, person B format. So you could be either A or B, and your person, the person coming through, will be the opposite. Now, if you see yourself in both sides, it's very possible that you and your person are mirroring. Just take the sides that predominantly resonates with your energy, okay? And yeah, don't force anything to fit here, because I know a lot of you guys come here for love and intimate reading. So this could be a love intimate reading. Doesn't have to be. This could be anyone at all in your life coming through. It could be a family member, a work friend, a best friend. But if it does come through as intimacy and as a love type relationship, then leave those messages for someone else, okay? Because that's the predominant energy coming through here, but it certainly does not have to be. Just take the essence of the energy of what's coming through. So pre-shuffled oracle cards, I've not looked at them. Person A and person B. I'm going to try this format. Yes, person A and person B, and then we'll look at the energy between the 2 coming in the next month. So let's start with person A and see what we have. So we have the nectar, and this is 58. The nectar, 58, okay. And we have porcupine. And we have hummingbird, air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. There is something I am hiding from you. And this love is crazy. And I sabotage this connection and I regret it. Okay, let's see person number 2. Now, if you don't resonate as either side, this is most likely not going to be your pile, okay? But before we get into the month ahead, we're just looking at the energy between these 2 people. We have number 41 with the village. And we have crab. And we have shark. Wow, okay, so we have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy, and more Cancer energy. Toxicity. The way I have treated you was wrong. And we have, I never want to see you again. You hurt me. Wowzers. Okay, before I get into this monthly energy, let's tap into these Two people and see what side you fall on. Just give me a minute here to sit with this energy. All right. We don't take words so literal here, more as the energy that I'm tapping into. Okay, I do feel there's bad blood going on between these two people here, and both people feel like the other person's kind of at fault. This could be surface energies, okay? So like they believe the other person to be at fault, but maybe this is more of a mental thing, okay? So hopefully you guys can follow, because sometimes the ego likes to get involved and say that we're right, and the other person's we blame the other person. We're always a victim when it comes to the ego. Okay, well, not always, but mostly we're the victim, and we like to point blame why the other person's in the wrong. So I do feel like both people are kind of in ego here, and you might not see it if you are in ego, because the ego sits in dark places within us, and we all have ego. But I do feel as though, I'm going to call this the hummingbird person. And I'm going to call this the shark person, okay? So, the hummingbird person. I feel like the hummingbird person has a very big heart, okay? And I feel like the hummingbird person has been giving of themselves. Oh, so interesting. Hummingbird and nectar. Look at how I just did this. This is pretty amazing. Yeah, this is pretty amazing. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to have to pull some tarot just to get what sort of energy I'm picking up here, because there's so many layers here. So I do feel like the hummingbird person has been somebody who has been open to this connection. Although I don't think the hummingbird understands potentially, or is seeing potentially, the value in them making themselves available to the shark person in a way that allows them just to give unconditionally. And this is kind of what's sitting with pile one in some way. I feel like the hummingbird person is and has been wanting to attain something from this shark person. And I do feel as though the shark person might have done something that pissed off this hummingbird person. And so I feel like the hummingbird person is potentially defensive. And I do feel like the hummingbird person is pulled away and potentially has either blocked the shark person, not talking to the shark person, is angry at the shark person, and kind of reacted the way that the hummingbird person did initially. Okay, and I feel like this was stemming from ego, because I feel the hummingbird person wanted something from the shark person that the shark person didn't provide. And so initially this made the hummingbird upset. So the hummingbird reacted because the hummingbird felt entitled to something. And the hummingbird has a belief that they're supposed to attain something from a connection. So that's their belief system structure that they're hanging on to. I deserve, I am entitled to, and this is what should happen when I am in a connection, which is a fair sort of 3D understanding of connection. But at the same time, we're in connections to learn spiritually. You're at a tarot reading, so I'm sure you're learning spiritual about what it's like to give from a heart place, from an unconditional heart place, love, and make ourselves available without expecting any sort of outcome, okay? Not sabotaging ourselves or martyring ourselves or not understanding our boundaries and that sort of thing. But we need to learn about healthy boundaries, but we also need to learn about making ourselves available without getting maybe agitated when the shark person doesn't. Now, you could be the hummingbird or the shark. So I'm speaking to whoever this hummingbird person is. We don't get what we want. I feel like the hummingbird got disappointed because the shark person didn't live up to some sort of expectation, didn't do something that the hummingbird thought they deserved or needed here. And so I think the hummingbird blocked, got angry or upset. And I feel like the hummingbird is having to deal with certain parts within themselves to look at themselves objectively in some way here without the ego, and to say, am I in this connection with this shark person? Is it coming from a place of true, deep, unconditional love where I can make myself available to this shark person without sort of having any sort of expectations of outcome here? Because it led to some disappointment here. And so I do feel like the hummingbird feels like they might have said something or acted rash in the moment, because I do feel the shark person did something here that upset this hummingbird. And I do still feel this hummingbird person feels an intense pull to this shark. But I feel like this hummingbird person isn't seeing something about themselves. Because I think the hummingbird person is externally focused on what the shark person said, what the shark person did, how the shark person's going to behave, whether the shark person's going to do what they need, whether the shark person is, it's very external based. It's not saying, how can I become the best version of me to give unconditionally to people in general without a big expectation of something that I can find on my own, that I'm not needing anyone else to fulfill within me, that I can overfill my cup, give myself love, and then once I'm at that state, I can overflow my cup onto other people and give from an unconditional heart space, so the universe can bring back to me unconditional love, bring back to me the same type of people that are overflowing, rather than me outpouring energy. So I feel there is a lesson here for this hummingbird person because something's happened. Okay, now let's go to the shark person. I feel like this shark person is quite angry, okay, and they might have said some mean things. I feel like they're defensive. I feel like this person could have been very much guarding their feelings. I feel like this person could be somebody who, so that you guys know whether it's this person, like they're, I don't know, they have like large groups of people. Maybe they identify as group. Like I feel like this person has a very difficult time identifying as self. Okay, so this means that they're more comfortable kind of generalizing things when it comes to themselves based on experiences that they've had with groups. So I think they're learning about their own identity. Like, this type of person has experienced connections in the past, and this is what they know, okay? And so they might paintbrush all connections with this same sort of thought structure. And so they're closed, they're guarded, and they get defensive and angry when they experience certain things that they've experienced in the past. And I feel like this person has some toxic traits that appear here and that are triggers, okay? Because I do feel like this person is having to look at each situation kind of on an individual basis rather than a paintbrush approach to how they engage in relationship. And so I feel like what might have happened here, and I'm kind of speculating, we'll see with the tarot if we get some more. I feel like, again, this isn't the month ahead yet. We're getting to the month ahead. This is just giving a sort of a synopsis of what's going on here in the energy. That this shark person might have said something, got defensive, that pissed off this hummingbird who was giving and now is guarded and now is upset, or at least at the point of the initial shock. And I feel like it's because this shark was kind of in some sort of groupthink mentality. I don't even know if that's the right word. It's like they were expecting, or they were taking in the energy that what was going on between the hummingbird and the shark as something that they've already experienced, and expecting that it was going to be the same type of result. So they were making a big speculation here, connecting it back to a situation that they've already experienced that might have caused them pain, or that's triggered some sort of trauma within this person. So they got defensive and reacted in some sort of way. So I feel like this person, now that they've reacted however they reacted, I do feel like this person does see that they acted in the wrong way. Like they said something hurtful to you, you know. And I think, let's go back to this hummingbird, because I was kind of beating up this hummingbird. Like I think the hummingbird's expectations aren't too far off from, you know, you treat someone with respect and you deserve respect, that sort of thing. But I think the lesson for the hummingbird is a lot more deep and spiritual in this way. It's like, if we come across somebody who has trauma, somebody who is toxic, somebody who's experienced something and then projects that onto this sort of situation and treats us wrong, and we start to react, then we're playing into the same toxicity. We're not stepping above it. So I feel like this hummingbird kind of stooped to the level of this shark person, because I think the shark person is more traumatized and has things that they're projecting into this connection. Whereas the hummingbird, I feel like it's not really about projection so much as them going deeper within themselves rather than pointing the finger externally, as the shark needs to do all these things for this hummingbird person, because nobody needs to do anything for you, hummingbird person. You can either make yourselves available unconditionally despite this person, or you can pull your energy back and figure your crap out here. But I feel like the shark person is projecting because they've experienced pain. Okay, and so I feel like they just expected the same thing kind of to happen here. I do feel like this person has a bit of an ego on them. Like they don't like to appear like a fool, or they don't want to appear a certain way. Like image is very important to this person. I feel like this person, like I said, might have a lot of friends or family around, like a lot of influencing people or things going on in their life here. You might be connected to this person through a circle of friends, or through workplace, or through social media. Like I feel like your lives might be intertwined in some way. Okay, but I do feel like this person, where they're sitting right now is, I was wrong with what I did with hummingbird, because I said some mean things. I don't know that necessarily that they know that they were projecting, but they know that what they did hurt the hummingbird. And what they're saying is, after that happened, the hummingbird did something to me that's now I'm the victim. This is the ego, and I don't want to see this hummingbird because this hummingbird hurt me. You know, but instead of saying I kind of started it with how I treated this hummingbird, it's now a vicious sort of spiral, because they did something, hummingbird retaliated, and now the shark person's all upset and hurt and doesn't want to engage with this hummingbird right now, because they're still licking their wounds and their ego is still in place. I feel like there was a strong ego that started here with projection, that dominoed effect to this hummingbird, that then spiraled into something further with this shark person. Because remember, a shark person has some traumas and is needing to deal with the root, and so they're going to be triggered like a fuse quite easily until that trauma gets dealt with. So however this hummingbird reacted, if it was negative in the eyes of the shark, they're going to project, and they're always going to be hurt and upset until they deal with their trauma. So it's almost like the hummingbird can't really react, you know. And so the lesson of the hummingbird is, how do I engage with someone who has trauma? How do I make myself available if I need to, but also not impacted by the decisions the shark person's going to make here without it impacting me in such a big way? So this is the general energy going on between these two. Holy camole. Let's take a look at the month ahead. Like, what's going to shift here? What's the energy for the month ahead? And then we'll pull some tarot as well. And like I said, I have not looked at this, so all we're doing is picking up energy. So we have resin, 38. 38. And we have the balloon. And we have the scales of justice, so Libra coming through here. We have the beauty queen, and we have the courting man. And it says uniform, professional male, shining on stage and adored. Okay. I'm actually feeling it this way, but month ahead. So I feel like what's happened is still needing to be examined. And I feel like it is something that needs to be dealt with. It can't be glossed over or brushed over. So I feel like it's going to be up in the air for some time until balance is restored. Okay. And the only way to restore the balance in this connection, to see eye to eye, is to deal with what exactly has happened. Because I feel like it is something that is stuck in its state until it gets resolved. And I feel like the root of what happened is the shark person projected something onto this connection based on an experience that they had. So I do feel as though this hummingbird is going to learn about their own value. I feel like this hummingbird is going to understand that they can have what it is that they want, that they can find beauty, that they are beautiful, that they can give themselves self-love, and that they can make themselves available if they choose to do so. Although I feel if this hummingbird does not learn about their own sort of reason for the way that they reacted, if they don't deal with what has happened here, they're bound to repeat another cycle here. But I feel as though this hummingbird feels as though they didn't do anything wrong so much, and that the shark person owes them an apology to fix things, and that they are kind of in the right here. And I feel like that mindset is going to lead to disappointment again, because I feel like this needs to be resolved at a deeper level. This hummingbird needs to understand this shark's person's trauma that gets triggered like a spark here will happen again and again and again and again, because something in the past is needing to be healed within this shark person. Okay, they need to go back to what this is and unpack what that is and really take a look at it, because I feel like it is still hurting them. It is still something they carry into their relationships. And so I feel like this hummingbird is coming off as someone who, once this shark person comes back and apologizes or tries to make things better, this hummingbird will say, see, I was kind of in the right here, and then may or may not give this shark person another chance. But I feel like Spirit's really showing that this could just lead to the same problems happening again, that this hummingbird person has to really take a look at their own sort of way of how they can react when somebody who is traumatized comes out, and learn really about what they give and how to put up proper boundaries, what they're willing to energetically sort of output when they get triggered. But I feel like it's a delicate sort of dance here, because I do feel like this hummingbird person is really pulled by this shark person. So they might be pulled back to this shark, but only to shenanigans. I do feel as though the shark is going to most likely come forward to try to make things better again. But I feel like it is superficial with this courting man. I feel like they need to deal with the root problem. And I feel like unless they get there on their own, because if the hummingbird starts accusing the shark's going to get defensive. The only way for them to look at their root problem is for them to suffer some sort of pain here to see where did it stem from, and be observant enough and connect to their own sort of spirit so that they can really see where the issue is here. So if the hummingbird just makes themselves available like nothing even happened here, the shark's going to learn absolutely nothing at all. I do feel like the hummingbird thinks they're in the right, especially because these scales are lopsided like this, and the scale is heavier on the side of the hummingbird. Now I do feel in 3D speak, logically the hummingbird could have been technically right. Although when it comes to, again, this spiritual connection, I feel like there is a lot going on subconsciously, and there's a lot of lessons that need to be learned on both sides, and that cycles are most likely going to happen here. So with the up in the air and the resin, I feel like nothing really is going to progress spiritually in this connection. I feel like maybe on the surface there might be communication. Maybe we might do the dance again. Maybe there might be some dialogue here that opens this door. But I feel like the root problem is still stuck. I feel like the connection is still going to be up in the air until this gets resolved. And I feel like until the hummingbird learns a little bit deeper about self, because I think they fell short, because externally they're looking external. So now they're falling short from going deeper within themselves. And the shark person doesn't even realize that they're projecting, or that they have a bigger problem here, because to them, everyone else is the problem. Okay, and this is the toxic problem here. So It looks like the same things that maybe you've experienced with the shark person if you are the hummingbird, okay? And if you're the shark person, you probably are not agreeing with this because you might not even see that you have these sort of troubled traumas, okay? I do feel I'm reading for hummingbird, but you can pick whichever side you're falling in. Let's take a look at the tarot, the twirl. Let's take a look at the tarot and see what more spirit wants to communicate for the month ahead. Now, I say a month, but energy doesn't sit in time, okay? So this could be anywhere on your timeline in this connection. Doesn't have to be an exact month, give or take. Okay, so it's how the energy is sitting. We'll ask Spirit for a clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of beautiful pile number 2. What's going to happen in the month ahead between pile 2 and their person, Spirit? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. And thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy and the energy around you at this time. I am truly blessed. Thank you so much. All right, so we have quite a bit that's popped out. We will read them. We have 10 of Wands, and we have Page of Swords in reverse. We have the 4 of Wands in reverse. We have Judgment, and we have the 6 of Cups. We have the Ace of Cups in reverse. Yeah, we'll read that one in a bit. So I do feel this connection is strained right now, and I do feel as though, you know, the shark person could have been acting very immature. I do feel like with the village here and this Page of Swords in reverse, like, I don't know if you guys work together or have a community of people or share social media, but I feel like the shark person is trying to spy kind of on what's going on with this hummingbird person to gain more information. But I do feel as though there's a separation here, okay? Because I do feel the hummingbird got disappointed by how the shark reacted. So I feel like there is both parties in the month ahead coming to some understanding, okay, of what has happened here. And I feel like it is a surface understanding of what actually happened. Again, no one's really looking at the deep root of how they're showing up and their expectations, deep root of the trauma and what's happened. So I do feel there's a reconciliation. Okay, I feel there's a reconciliation here. Because I feel like both of you guys don't want to be apart here, but I feel like there is a need to look at filling one own's cup. And I feel like the hummingbird is expecting the shark to fill their cup up and got disappointed and is going to get angry and betrayed every time the shark acts out of trigger. Because the hummingbird needs to learn about self-love and giving themselves this and learning about healthy boundaries. Okay, but I think the hummingbird's going to make themselves available thinking, okay, great. The shark is now coming in, wanting to reconcile, wanting to make peace, wanting to come together. Maybe now they can make me happy. Maybe now they've seen the light, you know, because what they did was wrong and we can all clearly see what has happened. And although what they did was wrong and what they said was hurtful, yes, this hummingbird needs to go a little bit deeper and say, even though the shark has come, have they resolved why they were projecting, why it was that they hurt me in the first place, what it was that they were thinking? I'm not going to make myself readily available here to this shark person. I'm going to understand, you know, what it is that triggered me, first of all, as much as it did with this shark person, so that I can't be readily pulled into this person's toxicity. Okay, so there's a lot going on about self-discovery, which neither party I feel is going deep enough. So reconciliation, most likely. This is also my soulmates card, but I do feel like there's, in regards to the actual topic, to what happened, I do feel like there's realizations that are happening. 3 of Cups in reverse, the Fool in reverse, 4 of Swords in reverse, the 2 of Cups in reverse, Queen of Swords in reverse, Temperance in reverse, and the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Oh my goodness. Okay, so they're not all in reverse, are they? No, they're not. Okay. So what am I seeing? 3 of Cups. This is reconciliation. Now, it is in reverse here. I feel as though Spirit is really saying, are we looking at repeating cycles again? If we reconcile, we repeat cycles again that we might not need to learn. Okay, that we need to take the time off. We need to reflect. We need to go deeper and look at truth. So Spirit is saying, do you want to come together with this person? And because they are not ready. They need to heal whatever this is. And so by making yourself available here to this person, you're going to most likely be repeating a cycle. So there's a need to have boundaries, proper ones to see clearly about our own accountability and why it is that we feel the way that we feel, and to become very clear with our own expectations of self and clear that no one can fill our own cup but ourselves. So I do feel like this hummingbird person is quite upset and is waiting for this shark person to find truce. And I feel like both parties are needing healing, and I feel like there needs to be a balance restored here. And in order for there to be a balance and a healing relationship, for two people to come together, for it to be cohesive, for the both sides, the ingredients to work, so you guys can create something beautiful here, I think both of you guys have to come correct. Neither of you guys are healed. And so I feel like there needs to be the time spent, the dedication, the effort in self, working on self, working towards a betterment of self. And then we can work on this connection. But I feel like there's no point in coming together to work on a connection here if we ourselves are still needing to do the inner work. And I feel like both sides need inner work. This one's a little more oblivious. I think I'm speaking to this hummingbird, and I think this hummingbird might just be kind of looking on the surface of what has happened here and seeing it as facts and saying, yes, like shark did something upset, they need to come correct, I'm upset, I'm pulling my energy here. And when they reconcile with me, if they grovel, if they say they're sorry, if I believe them, then I'm just going to make myself available here and throw my boundaries out the window and then repeat a cycle here. Meanwhile, this is just not getting deep enough. It's not getting deep enough here, okay? So two people can't really share on a deep sort of soul level here until shark deals with their trauma, and we can't make someone deal with it, but we could certainly mirror it back to them. And how we mirror it back to them is by doing the most loving thing we can for ourselves, which is love self. If we're pulling back our energy, we're doing so because we're learning to give ourselves the love and the self-worth and the appreciation that we could not get from another. Okay? And so this is what I see here for pile number 2. I know this one was a little bit of maybe a little complicated here, but it was very clear for me. Don't know who I'm reading for. If this resonated to you or for you, let me know in the comments. If you're interested in the jewelry, like I mentioned, this brooch and the other two will be available at prairievintagejewelry.com. I'll put all the links in the description box and in the pinned comment below. I love you guys so much. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hello, hello, my gorgeous, beautiful pile number 3. You guys picked this Avon double flower brooch, and it's absolutely beautiful, and this is available at prairievintagejewelry.com. I will put the links to all 3 brooches in the description box and in the pinned comment below. We'll be using the purple tarot cards pack, and what we're looking at is you and your person on your mind, and what's going to happen energetically between you and this person. Now, please keep in mind, whatever energy is the strongest around you is the person that pulls through sometimes, and it might not be the person on your mind. If the person does sound familiar, then the reading could certainly still be for you. Okay, now I know I do a lot of love readings, so a lot of you guys are here for the love, although this could be a relationship with anyone at all. And this could be a family member or a coworker or friend. So if I do talk about the intimacy and the love part, you can leave that message for someone else if it doesn't resonate. But the general essence of the energy should be something that's resonating between you and this person. Okay, although I do feel a lot of you guys are here for the intimacy and the love part of it. So we'll look at person A versus person B, so you know who this person is. And then we'll look at the month ahead, energetically, what's going on between you and this person. I've not looked at these cards at all. Pre-shuffled oracles. We'll also pull some tarot. So let's start with person A. You could be A or B. I'm going to read it as such so you can determine who you are. All right. So we have number 1 with Mother. Beautiful pearl. And we have Cardinal. Beautiful. And we have Frog. Water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and also I'm getting Earth from this, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Beautiful. And then unhealthy attachments. And it is all too much. And no one makes me feel the way you do. You are the best I ever had. I just heard Drake in my head. The best I ever had. Okay. So, person A. Let's take a look at person B. All right. We have 22 with the Creator. Wowzers. I don't think I've seen this one in a very long time. Very beautiful. The Creator. Okay. We have Bear. We have Cosmic Egg. Wowzers. Where do I put it? I'll put it there. And we have Betrayal. And we have I Don't Know Who I Am Anymore. And we have I Was Selfish and Immature. Please forgive me. Okay, so before we get into the month ahead, energetically what's going on, I'm going to just pick up the energy of what's going on with these two people so that we know who, if this is the right pile. If you're either side, I have a feeling you're this side, but you can determine who's what. I will start with this mother energy. I feel like this mother energy is an absolute beautiful divine empress energy here, who is very, very protective of this connection, very sacred, very loving, knows about unconditional love. And I do feel like this mother energy, I should call it the frog. I'm going to call this frog and I'm going to call this cosmic egg so we could keep it consistent. Okay, so this frog person is the type of person here who is learning about healthy boundaries and about self-love. So I feel like there's no doubt that this frog person loves this cosmic egg and that this frog person has been giving unconditional love. Although I feel like where the challenge is this frog person is learning about unconditional love of self. And so I feel like there is a difficult lesson here in not selling ourselves short. And it's interesting because the themes seem to come across all three readings, although very different energy, because I do feel like out of all three groups, this frog person is really kind of the type of person that is a very gentle, open-hearted soul and has been there for this cosmic egg person. Although I feel like the same can't be said for themselves. Like I feel like this person is really learning the lesson about self. And so I do feel like this person has gone through and is going through still a massive transformation. Okay, and I feel like they're learning to trust in spirit, trust the ancestral guidance, trust themselves. But I feel like at times this frog person has felt very overwhelmed by this cosmic egg, because I feel like this frog person has had to really, really upturn their life completely around here. And it's been very difficult for them to do this. And so I feel like this frog person feels very, very pulled to this cosmic egg person, like very spiritually, very much an uncontrollable energy here that's pulling this frog person to this cosmic egg. And they don't understand why. They don't understand how it's impacting them as much as it is and where this sort of energy is coming from. So I think this frog person is understanding about spiritual love, understanding about how to have a connection that doesn't compromise themselves. And I feel that is very difficult for this person to do. I feel like this frog person has been very overwhelmed by this connection and it's consumed them, I feel, you know, and this frog person has had to make major changes in their life. But I feel like the messaging here also from spirit is that this frog person is heavily, heavily protected, heavily, heavily guided by spirit. And this is happening very divinely. It's divinely guided for a very specific reason here. And so this is why it is very strong. And I do feel as though this frog person isn't going to be given any more than they can handle. So if they do feel like things are very intense and it's more than they can handle, they're supposed to be reminded that spirit would not put more on them than they cannot handle. That they're going through this so that they can reach a level of understanding here about self and this spiritual connection. Okay, so this is happening for them, not to them. And so I feel like this frog person is always willing to be open and available to this cosmic egg. Like I feel like this person has learned about unconditional love for another. But when it comes to self, I feel this person is still working on understanding what that looks like. And I feel this person is still having to do some inner work and letting go of certain limiting thoughts that are happening within themselves. But for the most part, I feel this person is on the right track and things are moving in the right direction for them if they keep going. Now, cosmic egg person. I feel like this cosmic egg person for one, I do feel there's an artist coming through here. So this person is either a writer, a musician, a creator of sorts, because that's coming through very, very strong. And I feel like this person has been very inspired by the connection between the frog and the cosmic egg to create. But I feel like this person the cosmic egg person has been resisting the certain changes that they're having to make. And I think what the cosmic egg person might be doing, or has maybe historically done, is lean into an outlet, I should say, an outlet of focusing on their music, their writing, their painting, their art, their whatever they're doing here. But I feel like they've been resisting leaning into massive change here, because I feel like this person's being called to spiritually awaken. Okay, and I feel like they're going through this process, although I think they were resisting and fighting. And I feel like this person could have been very much defensive about their own position, you know, in life in general. And I feel like this person could have been very guarded and might have even shut out this frog person at one point in time. But I feel like this cosmic egg person is really learning about spirituality and who they truly are. And I feel it's a scary time. But I feel like this frog person might understand this, because I feel this frog person might have at some point have already gone through this. So there is sympathy, and the frog person understands this, although the cosmic egg doesn't feel like anyone could really understand where they're going through right now. And I do feel like I'm getting like a learning disability in some way, or just their mind works differently. I shouldn't really say disability so much as I think there's something unconventional, yes, about how this person thinks that isn't standard. Okay, and I think it's very unique. It's very different. It is very different here. So I think that they can't really just handle this person as we would handle anyone else in some way. So I think this experience for them is a little bit scary, and this person is guarded. And I feel like this person also feels like they can't really trust to let anyone in at this point in time. Okay, and I feel like this person is really uncovering more about themselves, so much as they are focused on what the frog is doing and what's going on between the frog and them. And in general, I feel like this cosmic egg person has been hurt in the past. And so what this has done is has opened up a venue for them to have an outlet to express themselves via art or creating. Okay, and I do feel like this person has not reached their potential yet in what they're supposed to be sort of creating. And I do feel as though these two people are supposed to come together to create something. I think the frog person understands this. I think the frog person sees that there could be a partnership and a union between the two to create something beautiful, which I feel is the calling. The spiritual calling. The frog knows this, is being pulled by this. The cosmic egg might have been just a solo sort of bird here, trying to keep their world sort of small here, but I feel like they're being pulled spiritually. And so the more that they're being pulled, the more they might shut out this frog person. Although I do feel like this cosmic egg person has been really impacted by the gentleness and the kindness of this frog, that they can see, and they're learning that the way that they've acted might have been very selfish, because I do feel like they might have been very, very guarded, protective, and potentially just really shutting out this frog person from their life. And so I do feel like this person is amidst a lot right now, like going through a spiritual awakening and seeing how they might have not showed up proper for the frog person and kind of beating themselves up for this, but also looking at hurts from the past and how they've historically dealt with it. Because I feel this person might distract themselves in an outlet here rather than actually deal with what they're needing to deal with here. Okay, I do feel as though this cosmic egg is very protective of this connection as well, and this frog more so than the frog actually might believe or see at this time. But I feel like at this time, this cosmic egg is being asked to really grow. So this is the overall energy between the two. And now we're going to look at what's the energy that's going to happen in this upcoming month between the two. So we have the Virgin's Milk with the number 40. And we have 34 with the Ship. And we have 12 with the cross. And we have work, and we have Ice Queen. So it says Ice Queen, divorcee, mother, and discernment. And we have profession, college, and workplace. Okie dokie. So what's happening in the next month? I feel like this is definitely a spiritual connection that's being fed to both of you guys, because there is a beautiful blessing that's being given to both of you guys, okay? That's supposed to unfold here as the time goes on. I don't feel this connection is going away anywhere. I feel like there's massive lessons to be learned here about spirituality as a whole, ourselves as a whole. I feel like both of you guys have experienced something very spiritual and profound. I feel like this connection is moving forward slowly. I don't feel it is stuck. I feel like it is moving. It might feel stuck. The frog person might feel as though there's nothing they can do at this time, and that could be right, because Cosmic Egg is on their own sort of divine timeline in which they're having to resolve certain parts within themselves. So I feel like frog person could certainly start turning into someone who could either become very angry about this Cosmic Egg taking their time, although I don't feel this is the energy that this frog person has been in. But I feel like it could creep in there where this frog person gets upset, where this frog person starts to get very cold or shut out and say, well, if this Cosmic Egg person wanted to have something more here, we would be engaged in this, and then sort of starts to look at this connection from that lens, which Spirit is reminding, this isn't what this connection is. This connection is spiritual. This connection is about unconditional love. This connection is about allowing the universe to unfold the way it does, and not becoming bitter, not becoming cut off or closed, okay? And also about learning about self, like being loving of self, giving the self-worth and the love we deserve to self. And the more we do that, the more the energy shifts so that the connection can come together. And I feel this, if this is slow, it's because the lessons here for this frog person has also been slow. They've been slow to give themselves love. They've been slow to understand their value. They've been slow to really trust and lean into their own energy here, because they might have spent a lot of time looking at this Cosmic Egg person. And so I feel like this Cosmic Egg person, if they are a creator here, I don't know if they're, they do that kind of as work, if they're like a freelance person here, but I do feel like this person is very fixated on creating some project right now in their life. But I think it's therapeutic for them, because I do feel like this person it's like an outlet for this person to express themselves. And so I think this person is shifting the energy into work, is shifting their energy into the creative project. But I feel like what this person is having to really do is to allow themselves to tap into this more spiritual side, but I feel like they're resisting in some way. And so they're shifting and focusing on work, focusing on writing the music, painting the book, painting the picture, writing the book, doing whatever it takes here to keep them sort of distracted, but it will catch up to them. So they are focused on that sort of aspect, very 3D, okay, which is slowing things down. And I feel like both these people are kind of mirroring. I feel like the frog person should maybe spend less time seeing how long this Cosmic Egg's going to take and what's going to happen with Cosmic Egg, and focus on self, and not, maybe shut their own self out and have an energy here that slows things down. And the faster they're able to do that and comprehend this and work with Spirit on self, the faster they can move towards a goal. And I feel like this will shift the energy so that Cosmic Egg can also not focus on the things here that are completely consuming them, rather than the things that they should be working on here to heal. Now, although I feel like whatever they do, which could be painting, okay, creating, whatever they're creating with their hands, they're just creating something here. I feel like it's a good outlet, but when it gets used as a source of distraction, then they're delaying and prolonging what they're supposed to be doing here. So I feel like they're doing this because they're kind of mirroring what's going on here with the frog person. So shifting energy is going to be very important for this connection, because I do feel when one shifts, the other one is going to shift as well. And so I feel like this Cosmic Egg person might be removed right now, and they could be removed for the next month is kind of what I see. Although in the next month, things are moving slowly. you know, but it might feel as though this frog person might get a little more distant, might have less hope of things coming together, although there's a need to have faith and trust that this connection is moving in the right direction. So let's ask Spirit for the next month here between the cosmic egg and the frog. Spirit, can we get a little bit more information here between the frog and the cosmic egg, pile 3 in their person? Pile 3 in their person, what's going to happen in the next month between pile 3 and their person? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good. And thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I am truly blessed. Thank you so, so much. All right, 9 Wands, Knight of Cups in reverse, Judgment in reverse, 9 of Cups, 2 nines, Queen of Wands, and 1 card that just keeps flying at me. No, 2 cards. Queen of Cups and King of Wands in reverse. Okay, so I don't know if I read signs. We have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And we have some earth here with the bear, which is Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, and then some water energy, like I said, with this frog here, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and some earth, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, and then the King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag. Okay, so I feel like this frog person could certainly be not wanting to give up on this connection, okay? But I do feel like this frog person is needing to turn inwards, and I do feel like they could certainly be, over time, maybe having less faith in this connection, turning more defensive, and potentially, yeah, like maybe getting a little bit more bitter about this connection because it might be looking like it's taking long, or that this cosmic egg is self-focused and not really caring about this frog person, which I don't feel is true. Although I do feel like this frog person isn't ready to just throw in the towel here, although I feel like at some point they're going to be quite pissy and guarded is kind of what I feel here in this month, okay? But I do feel like the lesson here is for this frog person to learn about what is going to emotionally satisfy them and make them happy when the cosmic egg person is not around to give them love, when someone else isn't involved in giving them and showing up for them. How can they show up for themselves? How can they show themselves their own love? Because this Queen of Wands isn't someone who goes chasing or forcing or coercing anyone to give them anything. Queen of Wands is vibrant. She knows her self-worth. She's high value, and she just magnetizes what she needs. And I feel like this frog person is learning to magnetize their 9 cups, is learning to give themselves self-love. So I feel like this is an understanding that they're having to come to, that they might not yet understand. Both people here, okay, are having to learn about certain lessons. And so I feel like cosmic egg person isn't ready to become available to pursue this connection. And I feel like this cosmic egg person is relying on this frog person to give them love, to be this soft Queen of Cups, which is unconditionally giving, loving, emotional, caring, compassionate, and show up in this way. And this King of Wands has been someone who has been unavailable, not pursuing this connection, and has not been showing up. Maybe even a little arrogant, maybe a little bit removed. And so I feel like this is the energy that this month is entailing until frog person says, you know what, I'm beautiful and I'm high value and I deserve 9 cups. I can give it to myself. I'm not going to hold any resentment for the cosmic egg person. I will hold love and space in my heart, but I don't need to keep pouring emotionally to this cosmic egg person until they work on what they need to work on to understand their own ability here to show up so that they can take charge. They can move towards what they need to move towards here. I do feel as though this person is very cosmic egg person is very focused on work, so much so that they could be taking this frog person for granted. So both people are having to come to some sort of awareness. The sooner frog person comes into their own awareness of their self-worth and where they can find their own happiness, the sooner cosmic egg's going to say, hey, my awareness is that frog person was giving and giving and giving to me, and I haven't stepped up here, and so I need to come to some sort of understanding that my person isn't just an open cup here that's going to be flowing energy towards me. Okay, so this is about unhealthy attachment, because we need to learn, when do we give love and to what capacity? Because we can have unconditional love but not pour from a cup until we're empty, or pour from a cup where we haven't learned about our own 9 cups. So I do want to pull 3 more, just kind of as a little bit more here, guidance, because I do feel I'm reading for frog, but like I said, not necessarily. So Spirit, can we get 3 more cards? What is pile 3 supposed to know in regards to this connection in the next month? What do they need to know? Further clarity for beautiful pile 3. What am I missing? Thank you so much, spirits. Lovers in reverse, Gemini energy, Magician, Virgo, and Gemini. So strong Gemini. It's communication, manifestation, High Priestess, Pisces energy. Major, major, major. The universe, like I said, is controlling this whole thing. Okay, this is divinely guided. There's nothing we're supposed to beat ourselves up over. We're only supposed to understand where we can give ourselves love. And I feel with this, all this major arcana, the universe isn't guiding us. So is this connection going to come together in the next month? No. But I do feel as though there's a connection here that can come together. And I feel like what's happening is we're supposed to be manifesting for ourselves, just like this Queen of Wands, Master Manifester, our own happiness here. And if we cannot manifest the give and take between 2 people with the person that we want because it's unavailable, we have to still move towards manifesting what we can to make ourselves happy. So we're supposed to be listening to our intuition. Okay, we're being guided by our intuition, signs, synchronicities, or dreams, or knowing. So we're supposed to know that the universe has our back, that if this is meant to be, that this is something that will happen. High Priestess understands this and has a knowing, although it makes it very difficult when it's time to move on to manifest other things if intuitively this frog knows that there's supposed to be something more, a divine connection here between 2 people, and it's not happening. So Spirit is saying, learn to trust. Learn to trust, learn to manifest 9 cups. It doesn't have to be with another connection. 9 cups could just be finding what makes us emotionally happy when we are not able to find it within another because they're not available, because they're learning something about spirituality, learning something about self, learning to not distract with work, learning to find out who they are, learn why they're as immature as they are here, and to manifest and pull towards us what it is that we deserve, okay, and still have an open heart here and still be compassionate about this person, but understand that if this person doesn't make themselves available, then we cannot keep overflowing and overgiving of ourselves, because then we run dry and we run the risk of being too cold, and that's an unhealthy attachment. We burn out, okay? So I feel like this is a spiritual connection. I feel like the frog is highly intuitive. I feel like both people know that this connection is meant to come together. I feel like things are manifesting, but I feel like in this month coming up, things aren't going to come together so much. And I do feel like there might be some area of work that frog's needing to do on self here. And the faster they can do this, the faster this cosmic egg person is going to come into some sort of realization of self. Now, I do want to get maybe just additional here for the cosmic egg. What is the frog person need to know about this cosmic egg person? Anything the frog needs to know about this cosmic egg person right here, right now, spirits? I feel the need to give a little bit more. 4 Pentacles. Yeah, they're in a position where they can't give to this connection. They're held back. Okay, they're hanging on to certain things in their life that they need to let go of. 2 of Pentacles. They can't prioritize. They can't show up. They can't bring balance. They can't give right now. Okay, and I feel like it's not a choice that they're making so much as this is the divine dance of what's happening. This person is incapable of showing up, bringing balance, giving to this connection. They're too held back, and they're hanging on to certain parts of their life that they need to shed. But they're, like I said, they're guarding. They're guarding this shift instead of leaning into it, and so it makes it very difficult for them to become available in this connection. So they can't give. Okay, so let's see. Is there anything that the cosmic egg person needs to know about this frog person? I didn't do this for the others, but I do feel this is maybe important to see. What does this cosmic egg person need to know about this frog? Oh yeah, we have Taurus energy coming through with the mother as well. 7 cups, King of Pentacles. So frog person needs to get clarity from this cosmic egg person in regards to stability. I think the frog wants to know, is there going to be security here? Are you able to provide commitment? Are you able, cosmic egg person, to provide me with the long-term stability of somebody here who I can rely on for the long term? Because I'm confused right now whether I should maintain this connection, whether you are keeping the back door open. Is this something I'm just going to be fantasizing about that's never coming to fruition? And if that's the case, then I need to get clarity. And I feel like the cosmic egg hasn't given this frog person any clarity about what their intentions are long term. So if you are this cosmic egg, you need to communicate to this frog person about what your intentions are, whether you want to commit at some point in time, not keep things up in the air, because I feel like this person, the more confused they are, the more ice queen they get, and the more damage is done to this connection. Okay, but I feel like this person is very held back and very guarded and potentially in their cave here with this bear. And I feel like this is what I have here for pile number 3. Let me know how you guys like this style reading, because I might do one once per month if this is something you guys enjoy. And if you guys are interested, like I said, in the jewelry, it is available at prairievintagejewelry.com. I'll leave the links for these 3 brooches in the comment section in the description box. And I hope to see you guys there. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.